Fellow Southern Cameroonians and Bazonians, dear comrades, I'm delighted to be back with you this day. Although I say I'm delighted, it's definitely not because the news is so good. It's simply because, oh, let me take off my cap. It's simply because we're at the start of a new week. But this week is going to be a very determining week for our struggle. A very crucial week, crucial because a lot is already beginning to unfold. The first thing is a lot of those members of parliament and senators who opened their own mouths and told us that they were not going to return to Yaoundé, that they will not dare to go back to parliament unless our situation has been resolved. And of course, we even heard Honorable Bandam say loud and clear that we will be heading to Boya, where we shall sit and have our problems addressed. And so we are going to be observing. Tomorrow is Tuesday, the 14th of November 2017, and that is when the next session of Parliament is beginning. So we'll be watching to see those of the parliamentarians who actually were playing games with us, playing games with their people, playing games with those who sent them to Parliament in the first place. We are going to see them. But while we'll be watching out, take note that a good lot of us in the interim got very angry, frustrated at what is happening on the ground, disturbed with the numerous deaths we were recording every day and are still recording, frustrated by the numerous mass graves that we are discovering again to date, and really disturbed by the fact that a lot of our young people were having their legs virtually shattered so that they will be incapacitated for life. Some of us took upon ourselves to call these parliamentarians and senators ceaselessly to tell them to do exactly what the patriotic deputies in the Catalonia area in Spain did by walking out collectively from parliament so that the issue of the independence of Catalonia could be decided. While a good lot of us called to talk to these people, some of them went so arrogant that at the end it turned into threats, into outright threats, telling them if you don't step down, this or that thing will happen. Unfortunately, a good lot of them, vicious as they are, recorded some of these threats, and the government is aware. So what is the government trying to do now? We all know how devilish this government of La République du Cameroon is. Now they have put in place hitmen because they know the anger that we have in us. They have put in place hitmen who will take out a good number of these parliamentarians and senators. They're expecting to have about 4 or 5 of them, completely silenced for life, so that they will use their deaths as evidence to the international community, to the world bodies that they consider appear to be supporting us for now, so that they see that truly we are terrorists who not only threaten, but go ahead to execute our threats. What am I saying here? That you members of parliament, you senators who are heading to Yaoundé, in spite of the fact that you had taken a vow to stand with your people, in spite of the fact that you know that it will be much more better for you to be protected than your people, than the forces of La République who have never provided any form of protection to anyone, and you still think you should go to Yaoundé, you better watch your back, because the worst is about to happen. And mark you, no Southern Cameroonian will have any remorse if anything happened to you. And be aware that by this video and by other messages we are going to be sending out, and by a lot of press releases that we are going to inundate or rather water all the offices of these international bodies across the world, they will be sensitized to the effect that if anything were to happen to you, we cannot take responsibility and shall not be held liable, because you have been forewarned that La République du Cameroon is struggling to take you out. This is a clarion call on you to understand that it makes a lot of sense, therefore, for you to stay with your people. Stay in the midst of your people, because in good numbers, they will come out and shout and protect you when the evildoers come along. Now, let me make you understand, because you may be feeling that your life is even valuable in the face of the people of La République. They don't care about the lives of any Southern Cameroonians. What they care about are the economic interests that they get from us and the slavery that they engage us to be doing for them. Evidence is here. When some gendarmes and soldiers were killed last week, We heard the Minister of Communication, the government vuvuzela, come out and he shouted on every rooftop calling the names of those officers killed. We saw the Minister of Defense came out with an elaborate communique in which he even expressed the desire to see these people buried in their national colors. Did you hear any of them at any single moment mention Janet Ngwafo, who was shot by a stray bullet when they were struggling to, shoot at random to see if they could apprehend those they considered to have been at the origin of the murder? We haven't seen that. We haven't heard that. Janet Ngwafo is dead. It means nothing to them. In their view, she is not a human being because she's a Southern Cameroonian. She's only a dog, in the words of Governor Okala Bilai Bernard. This is an indication that you should be aware that your lives don't matter even to them, not even because you are a parliamentarian or a senator. That said, let me reiterate again another instance of the bad faith we find in these people. We have all watched on national television, on a lot of other media outlets, and we've even seen in some of our own newspapers, unfortunately, the names and faces of some 6 gentlemen purported to have been arrested in Misaje, and they are being linked to the death of the gendarme who was killed in Jakiri. Now, the account given by the Minister of Communication, Issa Chiruma Bakari, is that these young men were caught in possession of serious weapons, long rifles and all the likes, and that those are the rifles that they use in killing the gendarme in Jakiri. But recall that soon after that gendarme was killed, we were informed that that gendarme was ambushed, his gun seized, and his same gun used in bringing him down. And also recall that we were told that the Fondom sent out a masquerade that went out and shouted out and cleared the weapon should be returned very fast, and that gun has been found. So finally, which weapon was used in killing the gendarme in Jakiri? Now we also have watched and heard of a traditional doctor who was arrested, and they claimed that he was connected to the killing of the same gendarme. They even said he was the one who killed. He himself has been found dead. He has been killed by the colonial forces. Nobody is talking about his corpse. Nobody is talking about his demise. Now, what am I saying here? Among the 6 people arrested, Issa Chiruma Bakari says they have pinpointed the specific one that shot down the gendarme officer in Jakiri, who killed finally. All these incongruities demonstrate to us just how these people who arrest innocent young men torture them to the point where they are forced to make declarations just because they want to live, and these declarations will eventually be used to judge them. This is terrible. At the same time, we have seen all attempts are being made to incriminate Honorable Wiba Joseph. That is why security forces are loitering around his house, around the vicinities, to see how they plant weapons somewhere to incriminate him. Let all Southern Cameroonians, be you minister, be you director, be you senator or parliamentarian, know that we are all facing a collective challenge, that we are all facing annihilation. And therefore, it is important for all of us to close ranks and be able to fight what today is more or less an existential fight for all of us. Let me take us to another very interesting development. We have all watched with bewilderment how the colonial forces are breaking into people's houses in Bafia, in Munyenge, all of this in Muyuka subdivision, confiscating machetes, pit axes, hoes, den guns, knives, and all sorts of things that you can imagine. Shovels, all of these are instruments being used by the people in their farms. A good lot of them are cocoa farmers. And now what are they doing with these weapons? They are using these weapons to incriminate them as terrorists. That people are using machetes, knives, pit axes that they use on their farms. They have become instruments for terrorism. These are all things that we should decry. And we should all stand up as one man to decry this thing. You have heard also, we have all heard the colonial governor in Boya say, if you have a den gun, if you have whatever form of weapon in your house, come up with it yourself, declare and hand it over. Let me warn all of us. any attempt by anyone to take any such weapon to any of those colonial offices, hoping you are going to vindicate yourself, be aware you are the next person to be picked up as a terrorist. So you see this collective drive of seizing machetes and all sorts of metal weapons from people's houses and naming all of them terrorists indicates that all southern Cameroonians, in the eyes of Mr. Chiruma and the people of La République, are henceforth terrorists. This is a thing that should not be tolerated. Again, we are seeing a development in Comland. The St. Martin de Porres Hospital is being shut down. Even as I speak, the Archbishop of Bamenda should be at this moment in Comland, struggling to explain to the people why the hospital is being shut down. And I'm sure a good lot of us do not know why. The government, the security forces have issued an injunction on nurses and doctors not to treat anyone who comes with wounds from gunshots. What does this tell you? When they break into people's houses, shoot them on the leg, shoot them in various places, they want you to go die slowly so that they will claim that it's not from their guns. And that is why they are barring anyone from having treatment. That is why they are hanging on the St. Martin de Porres Hospital, because it is a hospital highly specialized in the treatment of bones. Because they want to incapacitate all our young ones. That is why they are pushing for the closure of all those hospitals. Our brave brothers and sisters of COM are standing out there right now and telling the Catholic Church, if you must comply, shut down all Catholic schools in Comland. Shut all the Catholic churches down and take away all your priests and reverend sisters. Oh my God, what is the world coming to? And the entire wide world is sitting and watching this evil drama unfold. My dear brothers and sisters, after several months of doing diplomacy, hoping we're going to introduce a kind of novelty in the world, that we will secure our total freedom without recourse to arms, we have come to the bitter reality that it shall not happen in this era, that it will never happen at all. We are going back to the old philosophy that diplomacy is no diplomacy when it is not backed by power. What do we mean here? We have not provided weapons for our brave brothers and sisters back home, but be informed, wherever they have not yet come for your machetes, for your pit axe, or for your whatever, conceal them very well. For your den guns, conceal them very well. Anytime you hear any knock on your door, be the first to extend the killer blow. Because what is certain now is that if we have 1, 2, 3, or 5 gendarmes and soldiers being killed on our soil every day, the United Nations and the world bodies will move. Because right now, they consider that Southern Cameroonians dying are not human beings. In the words of Governor Okali, I repeat, we are dogs. And what do dogs do when strangers come into the compound? They bark and they bite. But the most efficient dogs don't even bark, they just bite. So let us begin to defend ourselves. The time has passed where we'll be calling for just peace, 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 peace. The time has come to defend ourselves because we are facing collective annihilation and the world is so silent and watching. Fellow brothers and sisters, the time has come for us to note that our internal traitors are worse, worse than the enemy. This is what happened in apartheid South Africa, where the people to succeed made sure they went out on a campaign to weed out all their internal traitors that they could identify, because these are the people who use this kind of revolutions to settle scores. Now La République knows that this kind of thing will happen. So they want to go ahead of us and kill parliamentarians and senators and hang it on us. So you parliamentarians and senators, stay in your constituencies and be safe. The times are very hard. Wherever we are, whatever piece of assistance we can give to our people on the homeland to defend themselves, there is no more use for hesitation. We have to do just that, because that is the only thing we are left with doing. Each and every one of us who is still standing on the fence in this matter, the time to take a position has come. I say the time to take a position has come. The time to take a position has come. No more procrastination. Aduta continue.